As we get closer to Bill Let's Talk Day, we're talking about children's mental health this morning. Psychologist Tammy Schamuhn and Tania Johnson are here to talk about it ahead of a big conference in our city talking about kids' mental health in April. Thanks for joining us, ladies. How do we know our kids are suffering mentally?
Well, I think adversity is something that everybody struggles with, for one thing. So we want to look at some symptoms that maybe are existing that are causing kids distress in not just at home, but also in school and during organized activities. So I think we want to look at their sleep. We want to look at their appetite. We want to look at their emotion regulation. You know, we want to look at tantrums.
But we can just say, oh, that's normal behavior, or that's hormones. We can chalk it up to a lot of things when we could be just disguising a bigger issue, right?
Absolutely. So when we're seeing big changes in our kids, that's when we want to go, aha, something might be happening here, and perhaps then we need to contact a professional.
Okay. Is this more prevalent than in years past?
Yep.
Why?
Well, I think that we're living in a more hectic society. We don't have as much time with our kids. Tech has come into play. Now, children are just generally more stressed. So we know that right now there's about 1.2 million children struggling with mental health illness, yet only about 20% of those kids will get the help that they need.
How do we talk to them about what's going on in their little minds?
Well, I think it depends on the age of our children. When we look at young children under the age of about 8 or 9, they're going to be more playful. Like, they're going to show us through the toys and through art how they're feeling.
And I heard something about worry bugs. And how to control the worry bugs in their tummy.
I think, kids are very much in their bodies. So a lot of what kids experience compared to adults is going to be what we call somatic complaints. So they're going to talk about headaches and tummy aches and things that, that keep them up at night. So we start to pay more attention to that. Like we said, appetite and those sorts of things. Whereas adults have the ability to talk more with their words, kids are going to be more in their bodies. So we have to be aware of how that presents itself.
And they're going to express themselves through play. So that's often where play therapy comes in, is we'll help children to express those emotions through play therapy.
All right, resiliency. How important is it to build resiliency in your kids, starting at a very young age? And what does that look like?
Yeah, well, mental health and psychological well-being starts from basically, I'd say, from the beginning of a child's life, helping them to learn how to fail, to get back up and to try again.
How to fail. That's tough for all of us. That's tough. You want to shelter them. You don't want them to feel pain. You don't want them to feel rejection.
100%. But that's how we learn. That's where resiliency comes from.
Yeah, and I think one of the best lessons we can teach our kids is when we don't make it, or we fail, or we stumble, it's how we pick ourselves up. And those are the lessons that we learn. And some of our best lessons are learned through failure, through not getting it right. And when kids can say, oh, this is an opportunity.
100%. And stepping back as a parent, helicopter parenting is the buzzword now. We need to step back to help our kids to thrive.
That is true. All right. You were going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, and that's just sitting with your own discomfort around your kids' pain, too, that sometimes that we all have to be able to sit with discomfort and our own pain. And I think that's where kids can bounce back from adversity, too, is when they've been there and they've had a parent help them walk them through that, hand in hand, and say, look, we made it out alive. Yeah. We're okay.
We're okay. There's a big conference coming up in April. Who is it for?
Parents, professionals, mental health caregivers, anybody basically who works with children. It's a number of different presentations held over the weekend, April 26th to the 28th. All
right. Thanks so much, ladies. Some important conversations that will be happening, of course, throughout the next week as Bill Let's Talk Day happens next week. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
and
you.
Good luck at the conference.